Alright, this is the Harbor Freight blast cabinet. I think I paid about $150 with a coupon. 25% on sale for $199, I think. Anyway, I've read other reviews. Came across this in the kit, so I don't know if that was, always part of the kit, but it's in there now. I bought it, late March 2015. So, same. I've heard that this is a pretty crappy light. Here's the hose. Nothing special. Not sure what that's for. But all the bolts in like a little shrink wrap pack thing here. And the gloves. I wear like a medium/large, so I'm hoping those will be fine. This is the comes with like looks like an adhesive layer for the window, which looks kind of nice. So anyway, we'll start putting it together and see how we go. But I did pick up some extra silicone and stuff that was on sale at Ace, local place. So we'll see if we need that. Might be, it's some silicone. Anyway, go from there. I've been working on this again today for, I don't know, maybe an hour so far. Put the legs on. I didn't have the door on there. I had to drill these holes out. The screws wouldn't quite fit in there. I'm guessing that, no, I guess you can't put it on backwards. So yeah, I think that was like a 7/32, and which is pretty tight. I could have gone bigger. These screws, some of them were harder to get the legs on over top of the screw, so I had to pull those back out and put them back in. Not a big deal. I would still recommend not putting the gloves in because you find yourself getting in there a lot. With the light, I ended up putting the brackets on the light, lining it up on the back side, and then that way I could just pop it in. Didn't have to screw around laying inside this thing like I've seen some guys do on the assembly videos. Yeah, that's about it. I still don't really understand what this bracket piece is for. All I used it for is I laid it on top of here, and then that because you can't see where the holes are, so I laid that on top of there and used a screwdriver to poke holes in there. But I don't think I'm going to actually put that in there. It doesn't really seem like it does anything. So, but I flipped this up on my table, and then this piece, this is where the grate goes. So that goes in there like that. The goddamn rabbits. The hopper just sits right on there. It makes it easy if you do it upside down. But I'm at the moment gonna pull this back off, hit everything with silicone before I put it together, put some bolts in, flip it back over, put the bolts down through. Yeah, that's about it. So this is day 3. I think I worked on it for about 2.5 hours the last 2 days and had to take a break, do some other stuff. So this is where I'm at now. This is my dust trap. I used big fittings just because that's what I had laying around from another project. So there's a 90 that goes in. That's a 45 street 45. And I cut a little piece of PVC to go in there. So this just kind of sits on there like that. Hopefully that'll work decently. So this, I'll show you how it hooks up. I drilled this and put a little hook under here, which is where the bucket's gonna hook. I had to chew the hole out a little bit, and I just put a coupler on there on the inside. So it's just all hand tight. I didn't glue anything, so I think that'll probably end in disaster. So this piece will go in here like that. I may have to trim that one down a little bit more. And this piece, my shop vac hose fits fairly snugly into that 90. I haven't decided exactly how this is going to sit, but I put it on a hook because I'm going to eventually probably put this thing on wheels so that I can wheel it in and out, because it's kind of a bitch to pull around. But you can see the silicone that I put pretty much everywhere. I put the bolts down through. It says to do it up through, but don't think it really will matter too much. I should put a filter dryer on here. Don't have one yet, but I did have this little quarter turn ball valve. Bought 2 for the last project, only needed 1. And that's pretty much it. I'm almost to the point now. I'm going to put the glass and the gloves in. Like I said, I'd recommend doing that last because it made, dealing with this a lot easier. I'm probably going to run some silicone around here so that it doesn't leak too bad. Oh, and I mentioned in the last video that I drilled these. I think I just used the wrong screws. There's some smaller screws. I don't really understand why, but so I may have to come up with some extra screws wherever these ones are intended to be used elsewhere. We'll see when we get to that. The latch doesn't fit quite straight. I don't know if I really like it. It kind of sticks out a little bit. Not sure if I'll mess with that or just leave it go for now and then maybe change that later on. But we'll get it up and running. This is the air compressor I'm going to run it with. It's a 80-gallon Cobalt that a guy had brand new on Craigslist. It was a strange deal, but anyway, I got that. This is my little, I think it's like maybe a couple gallon, 5-gallon maybe, Campbell Husfield. We're going to test it out with that. I know it can only run for a couple seconds before it runs out. So, yeah, that's it for now. So we got the glass put in. Here's my shop vac hooked up. Air compressor. Just got it hooked in direct. This is how the dust trap looks. I ran this shortly and it seemed to work fine. There's a little bit of dust in there. So I've got like maybe an inch and a half of water. So the top, I put the polycarbonate piece on the top, or acrylic or whatever it is, and the glass below, and you can see there's like the outline of the protective film. So I put that down facing the inside. It doesn't really say if that's the way it's supposed to go, but that seemed to make sense to me. I have some old rusty pins off of my tractor. I didn't degrease them, which I probably should have. So this is the first one I went through. This is the 80 grit glass bead, also from Harbor Freight. This is what the box looks like. 25 pounds. So one of the things I noticed is I got grease on the fingers, which is kind of annoying. So next thing on the list is to get a parts washer so I can wash this stuff before I put it in here, because it probably contaminates my blast media as well. So for whatever. Also, I'm not sure how this is supposed to work. I had it in there all the way, but when I turned the shop vac on, the gloves almost popped inside. So I popped it out the back. I started drilling holes and I thought I'd just test with duct tape, holding it on kind of just off center. So that seems to work okay. I didn't get any dust anywhere else. This also on the instructions, it shows it the other way around. I put it up just because That way I can put the extra nozzles and things down here, and if I'm dragging it around, it'll be less likely to fall off. Okay, well, that's with the light that comes with it. I've got a lot of light, you know, right here and right here, so it's kind of reflective, which is annoying, but I got a decent amount of light over here. So anyway, I'll see if I can do some blasting. Set my phone on the top, lock the thing, turn on the shop vac. Got to turn on the ball valve. Alright, so that's with my little tiny air compressor, and you can hear it was running the whole time, so I was probably only doing maybe 50 or 60 pounds PSI, if that. So this is that ball that I was pressure wash or blasting. You know, it came out pretty good, so I think if you had, you know, obviously I need a much bigger air compressor, and I think this thing is going to work pretty sweet. Again, not too much dust outside, not really any that I'm seeing, so I'm relatively happy with how the silicone sealed everything up. You know, it's hard to tell if I'm getting any because I got a bag in this thing. So doing it over again, I probably would have used clear silicone just because the white looks kind of crappy, I think. And eventually I'll put in a more powerful light, but that's not too bad, the one that comes with it. But hopefully soon I'm going to get 220 out in my garage, put in a sub panel, and then that way I can hook up that thing and we'll be able to really blast some stuff. So that's my experience so far with the Central Pneumatic 621 40 pound capacity floor blast cabinet from Harbor Freight. Again, it was about $150, which I'm happy with so far. Probably get another just the fittings and stuff, so maybe $15-20 I'd say. I had them left over from another thing, so I'm not sure how much they were. And that's just an old drywall bucket that I had sitting around. So that was, you know, just laying there. Whatever the bucket cost with mud in it. Put a dryer on this. This field's kind of cold. All right.